Okay, I'm going to show you guys how to transfer your paper pattern that you bought from Anita's rug hooking, her Shopify store, my Shopify store. So the first thing you want to do is you want to lay out your pattern and match it up. And it should print out like relatively, well, it should print out in order. So you just, if you lay it out by the sheets, it'll be in the order. Okay. So then you want to cut and tape it together so that you don't have these lines in the middle. So let's say this is going to be a paste line, paste. That would make this a cut line. Cut, paste, cut. Okay, so if we work our way across the pattern just like that, paste, cut, paste, cut. Paste, cut, paste, cut. Okay, then now we've got to go this way, paste and cut. So we can do paste, cut, paste, cut. I'm just marking my sheets so that when I start to cut, I'm not cutting what I should not be cutting. Okay. So I'm going to take the first sheet that needs to be cut. I just used my circuit tool. It's a tool that I got off of Circuit, and I just line up where the cut line is and make sure the paper is flat up against this edge, and then I'll, I don't know why it's not, that didn't do good at all. I wonder if Kenny was playing with this. Okay, worked fine that way. I'm just going to grab the sheets, line them up, so this page, I just have to cut on this side. This one I have to cut on two sides. You can do this with scissors. It's not, I just have this tool and it lines it up good for me, and it makes a really straight cut. And then usually the patterns that I'm selling, that I'm making, I'm selling them. So, you know, I've got to try to be as precise as possible for my patterns. But, you know, this is just your pattern. You can be this precise and buy these tools, or you can use what you have on hand and do scissors. And if you get the gist of this, you can just fast forward to the next part. I'll probably start doing less talking and I'll speed stuff up as I'm doing this process, so the video will be faster. Okay. All right, now, let me grab my tape. I thought I had all my supplies over here. Okay, now everything is cut. So you want to lay where it says paste, you're going to lay on top. And then you can tape. So you're matching up the lines. As you're laying it on top, you're matching up the lines of your pattern to make sure things match up. And I tore this, I'm gonna tape over that. Okay, now you need to take your red dot paper, a piece that's bigger than your pattern that you need to trace. Something you can also do, you can tape, I use painter's tape. I work off my dining room table, and so I don't want to damage my table any more than I have already. I just cover it with a tablecloth, honestly, because I draw these patterns on here too, and sometimes the Sharpie goes right through the table, so be aware of that wherever you're wanting to work at. Work on a surface you don't care if Sharpie marker bleeds through to it, or work on a surface where put something under your surface so that your Sharpie marker is not going to bleed through. So right now I'm taping, using this painter's tape because then it doesn't damage the table. I'm just taping my pattern down to the table so that it won't move as I start tracing it. Because this is a large pattern, so if it was a really small pattern, you don't have to worry about that. But on these bigger patterns, you want to make sure it's not moving around. Okay. Now, this is Septic Fabric. They use it in plumbing outside to wrap around the pipes to keep debris from getting into your water lines. It is very similar to red dot paper because it is thin and see-through. So that's what I use to transfer my pattern with. Here lately, the red dot paper has not been as good. Like I think one company that used to make it doesn't make it anymore. So, okay. Now I'm gonna cut this. And then you can save your, once you trace your pattern over to your backing, you can save this. Would have been more ideal if I had this done already, but I didn't. Now I'm going to tape this down so that it doesn't move. You see there, it just moved. I don't know if you saw that or not. There was a little ripple when I did the tape. So that is why you want to tape it down. That right there did it. So there's a ripple right here in that fabric. I'm going to try my best to smooth that ripple out before I tape this other end. I think that's good. All right. So we're gonna make, on the border lines, we're gonna just do little cross, like little T's. Or like little V's, really. Because we're gonna draw those straight lines in later. We do not want, we want them to be on the grain of the fabric of your backing. And to do that, we need to do it in the ditch. So if you were to just trace this line and actually trace that through to your pattern, it's not going to be straight. It's not going to be a straight line. Okay, these other lines, it doesn't matter. Just these outer straight border lines. Okay, so now I'm using a red colored pencil, and I do red because when I start to trace it over it with the black Sharpie marker, I can see if I've forgotten something, because I can see that line. Okay, so I'm just going to continue to trace this pattern, and then when we come back, we will be doing the Sharpie marker and putting it through to the linen. So I'll have the linen taped down on the table next. So I'm going to stop this video. I have to put the video up on the table, so you're going to see me climb up on the bench to get it paused. But I'm going to edit the video so it'll show you the rest of the process, okay? Okay, so to continue on, I've pulled up the pattern and I have it taped over here to a chair so I can refer to it if I need to. And now I've put down the linen. So this is mixed linen, so it's like half bleached and half primitive. I like it because the color is lighter so that I can see the pattern. I can see details a little bit better. It makes it easier for me when I'm drawing the pattern and stuff too. I'm going to go, the piece that I've measured is 8 inches bigger both ways. So basically I added 4 inches all the way around the piece so that you have enough room to fit it on your grippers on your frame. So right now I'm just going to measure in 4 inches from the edge and mark a little line with my pencil. And now I'm going to line that up and I'm going to measure in 4 inches from the other way. So that will be the corner of my piece that I'm going to set up right here. And I'll probably go ahead and do this side too real quick, just to kind of have a guide, a rough guide. Okay, so this spot and this spot should be kind of like the corners of my piece on this side. And I'm going to do that on the other side too, I guess. This is my pre-drawn pattern. I've taped the linen to the table, and once I get this up here, I'm going to tape this down also. So just kind of gauge this a little bit. As long as it's in between my marks, it should be good. Okay, so that's approximately the other. Okay, so I'm going to line this up as best I can so that those little V's that I made are on those marks. As close as I can get. See, fabric stretches, so it's no surprise that it's not like a perfect match, even though like I measured. Fabric stretches, so. And I may have cut the linen just a little bit bigger so that when I serge it, I have a little bit more room too. So anything's possible. But okay, so now I'm gonna take, I have my black Sharpie marker ready for when I start to draw the pattern. And we're gonna draw the middle of the pattern first, and then we'll come over to our edges and mark a little dot this way and a little dot this way, and then I'm gonna draw my straight lines. And I'll probably mark a little dot over here just to know where to stop at, because we're gonna draw that with the pencil in the ditch so that it's on a straight line, the edge of our border. Of course, I made a ripple again. Fabric moves. And I got hot. It's the same day that I started this video. I got hot in my sweatshirt, so I took it off. I live in southern Georgia, and I think it's like, Alexa, what's the temperature today? Yeah, it's 74 outside. And it's just like December 30th. So, I like it. I do like that. Okay, so now we are ready to start drawing our pattern. So I'm gonna go over the red lines with the Sharpie marker. Tips, you want to go kind of slow and push down really good. You also want to use a brand new Sharpie marker. If your marker is old, the ink is not going to saturate through very good. And then you're still going to have to, once you pull your pattern up, you're still going to have to go back and trace over it to darken it up again. So you're going to go slow. Slow and push down good.
Okay. This way.
And if there's any lines that you can't see very good, you can always go back and refer to your picture to help you. That's the next step, and then I'm going to serge the edges of the pattern. I'll go back over it, trace it again to darken it. And then I'll keep this Septic Fabric, because if I ever have to draw this pattern again, I've already got, everything is pre-done. All those other steps in the beginning are pre-done. And any of the patterns that you buy from me, you can hook those more than once and give them as gifts, but I ask if you sell them that you only do it 3 times. And this design was by Pat Moyer. She's a very talented designer, and she has gifted me, since I teach, I'm a certified teacher, she has gifted me with all of her patterns, and I have a commercial license for free use of them to sell them and sell the digital copies and to do all that. So everything is legal. I have it on paper. But to keep everything legal, you guys have to do your part too and not abuse it. All right, I'm gonna pause this and then I'll come back probably after everything is all, well, you know what, I'll come back when I have to do the straight lines. That's a good part to show you, because you guys do need to see that, how to drag the pencil in the ditch. So I'm gonna pause it. Okay, so I just finished tracing all this, and I'm gonna lift it up. I haven't lifted it up yet, and look to make sure it has gone through pretty good. And then I'm gonna do the pencil in a ditch. And then I'm also gonna go over it It looks pretty good. Yeah, as long as you push hard and you go slow, it's gonna go through. And then you have a brand new marker. If you don't have a brand new marker, you're gonna have issues. Okay. Okay, so that looks really good. You can see where I've done my marks here. Now I want you to notice when we draw the lines in the ditch, how they don't line up. And that's why we wait and we do our straight lines later, because it's fabric and fabric shifts and it moves. But to do this in the ditch, you want to find a hole and you want to use a pencil. You can use a colored pencil or you can use just a regular pencil. You're going to find a hole and then you're going to drag it. That is going to keep it in that line. Push down hard and drag. That is a straight line. And that's in the ditch because it just gets in there. Now, see, I'm getting close to my edge over here. So I will just want to slow down and see where that
hello,
goes.
Mommy.
I want to stop there.
Hey, here.
And that was Kenny. For people who have met Kenny before. Not met
hello,
Kenny.
Mommy.
But so it was like one hole off from the pattern.
Mommy.
So that's why we do it last and we do it in the ditch.
Okay.
So if you buy one of my patterns, it's already been drawn on linen and you see these little dots, that's what's going on. Okay, so now I'm gonna start at that corner and I'm gonna work my way in the ditch. I'm gonna go up. Oh, I went out of my ditch a little. So just, you go nice and slow. If you go too fast, it's gonna pull you out of the ditch. But if you go slow, you can kind of monitor it and you'll see when you do go out of the ditch. Okay, right there. So see how this is, it's off quite a bit there on that corner. I don't know if you can see that black mark compared to the red mark. You might not be able to. But the red mark, the red line is here that I just drew in the ditch, and the black mark is here. So, I mean, that's like a whole fingernail. Okay, so you're going to see the back of my head for a second because I have to get up here on the table. Okay. So if your pattern has like, other than diagonal lines, you can't really do any diagonal lines, just go ahead and draw one on the pattern. But the straight lines that maybe meet the diagonal line, you want to do those and just make a mark, like a V or a T mark where the cross intersections are at, and then go back and do that after. See here, this one was off too from the pattern, so right here, and then here's where my line is. So, but that's a straight line because it's in the ditch. And I know because I did it. Okay. Any patterns you buy too, I mean, it's not hard just to go over it with a colored pencil and ensure that it's been drawn in the ditch on a straight line on your outer border. It doesn't take but a second to do that. And then, you know, if it hasn't been drawn straight, just redraw the line. It's not that big of a deal. But I try really hard. If I'll probably sell this pattern online or I'll hook it myself. But I try really hard in any of the products that I do to try to send out products that have been sewn properly. I mean, that have been drawn in the ditch properly. Okay, so here's where I'm gonna have a little bit of an issue. Because my straight line from here is here, and look how far over that is. And then my inner border lines are too close to that. So I'm going to start, this side looks fine. I'm going to start with this side and I'm going to measure how far apart is there. And then when I come over here, I'm probably going to, you know, start over here a little bit further to leave the same amount of space so it doesn't look uneven. So I'll start here. Because I had an inner border line too on this pattern. And one good thing, I would say, it's a good idea to trace your patterns because you really see so much more and you're going to understand so much more what you're hooking when you start to hook the piece. Like, I could give you a good example. This curly vine right here, you need to hook that first because that's on top. And I noticed that when I was hooking, when I was drawing the pattern. You just see minute details that make a difference when you go to start hooking the piece. So it's always a good idea, even if you just trace your pattern, if you already have the pattern and you just trace it, you're going to become really familiar with the pattern that way. I want to give it, let's see, I don't want to be too close to this flower. And I'm going to be, okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go this way. Instead of, I'm going to come in a little further. About 3 holes. I'm just going to count like 3 holes. 1, 2, 3. Let's see, 1, 2 from the ditch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do 5. Let's do 5 holes. Let's see what that looks like. And up this way. 1, 2. No, the other side will go up 3. Okay. I'm just trying to. Alright, that looks good. Okay, well I'm just going to finish dragging this in the ditch and then I'm going to go over it one more time with my Sharpie marker just to kind of darken this up a little bit. And that you can go a little bit faster. I mean, you don't have to go super slow. You're just kind of darkening the pattern up so it's real visible and everybody can see what they're hooking. But that is how you transfer a pattern. The last step after you get your border lines in and you draw them over with a Sharpie marker is you can serge your edges with your sewing machine or zigzag the very edge so it doesn't unravel. Like this one's already started to unravel a little bit. If you don't have a sewing machine or have access to a sewing machine or you don't know how to use a sewing machine, that's okay. Take your painter's tape or your masking tape. You're going to tape it on the edge and fold it over to the back. So it would just be folded over tape and that will hold it just fine until you get ready to start finishing your rug. Alright, thank you for watching and hopefully you bought a pattern from me too, so thank you.